gives us a few clues as to how we can build community. So, this is your part. If you're happy to take part, then please give it your all. Or if you'd like to just watch, that's fine too. So, every time you hear the name of Sanballat, Geshem, or Tobiah, cover your ears, because they say some really nasty things, and we don't want to hear those. We don't want to believe those. Every time you hear the word wall, perhaps you could stand up straight like a wall. I know that's a big ask, isn't it, on a Sunday morning? But if you feel able, come on, children, I need your help. Every time I say the word wall, amazing, brilliant. You're all bricks. Every time I say the word build, building, built, perhaps you could do a little bit of building. Brilliant. If I say pray, prayed, praying, any derivative of the word pray, nice and easy. Perfect. And if I say help, helped, helping, help, maybe shake hands with the person next to you if you feel comfortable with that. If not, just shake your own hand. That would be brilliant. Shall we just have a quick practice, just to make sure we're all on it? Okay. Pray. Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem. Wall. Helped. Built. Oh, amazing. Doing really well. Fantastic. Okay, so are we ready? Are you all sitting comfortably? I think that's how you should start a story, isn't it? So here we are. Our story this morning. Nehemiah was sad because the city of Jerusalem was in ruins. So he gathered together the city officials and said, let's start rebuilding. God is on our side. Nehemiah's faith and enthusiasm inspired the people, and they said, yes, let's. He told each family which part of the wall, Julie, you're on it, they should fix. So, some of you might have noticed that we have bricks this morning, and we have an area where you can build a wall. So, Phil, brilliant. So I wondered whether we could have two areas of our wall that is going to be, thank you, Dorian, that is going to be fixed and rebuilt. So over on here, maybe we could have the Gallant family start building that wall there. And, you're all on it. Which other family, the Sim family, would you like to try and start building that wall over there? You're going to be so fit by the end of this morning. Brilliant. So we've got the Sims building over there, and we've got the Gallants over there. This isn't a race, but it's to illustrate our story this morning. Brilliant. Unfortunately, not everybody agreed to build the wall. Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem didn't want the walls to be fixed. They were angry and said some very unkind things to the Jews. That's a helpless task. Sims and Gallants, why are you bothering? This is a hopeless task, trying to rebuild the walls. And it won't be any good anyway. Even if a fox came over, it would crumble it all down to the ground. What to do next? If you want to turn around and watch the building of the walls, that would be great. Yeah.
Oh no, it's falling.
So Nehemiah and all the people prayed and asked God to help them. The wall was built to half its height because the people worked with all their heart. The building got to half its height because they worked with all their heart. They were committed to it, and I think you can see that they are pretty committed to the task. But when the unkind things weren't having an effect on the building because they were really giving it their all, Sanballat, Tobiah and Geshem plotted to fight against them and cause as much trouble as they could. What to do next? Nehemiah prayed and he set a guard. So, who would like to be my guard this morning? Oh, yes. Come on, Willem. Come and stand in the middle.
Do you have a sword?
Duncan? Duncan forgot the swords. Never mind. Pretend you've got a sword. Nehemiah posted the guard and he stayed there day and night to protect the builders. The Jews were working so hard that eventually they became very weary. You're looking weary? Yeah, look weary for me. Look really weary. And began to believe their enemies. They began to believe what Sanballat, Tobiah and Geshem were saying. This is too difficult. This is so exhausting. Ever felt like that when you're building something in community? Sometimes we feel very vulnerable. But Nehemiah reminded them that God was on their side, and God is more powerful than any enemy. They need not be afraid. Don't be afraid, builders. Don't be afraid. God is on your side. At the most vulnerable places in the wall, extra help was given. So I need some extra help. Maybe a couple of people to go to each of these families to support them and encourage them.
Go as high as you can, shall we?
To encourage them to build their walls. Thank you, Sam. Okay, listen to this, builders. Half the people worked, whilst the other half carried spears, shields, and armor to protect them. So you need to have some of your team that are protecting you and some that are building. They were always ready. They always had their weapons, and they never took their clothes off when they went to bed. They were always ready. Always ready. Now, if somebody was in trouble, they would sound the horn. James, can you sound a horn for me? Brilliant. And reinforcements would come. So let's have some reinforcements. Duncan, Sam, Hannah, would you like to be reinforcements? They are in trouble. They need some help. Protect them, help them build. We've used all our bricks, I can tell. And so, the wall was finished in 52 days. Well done, builders. Let's give them a big round of applause. It wasn't a hopeless task, after all, even though so many people thought it was. And there were many challenges and obstacles. But you did it! You did it! You did it! Well done. Come and sit down. So, how did they do it? They did it, they prayed to God for help, and they positioned themselves to help each other. You're on it over there. Yeah. But could you click on the thing for me? Maybe a bit more? Oh, there we go. They prayed and they positioned themselves to help each other. When they didn't know what to do, ever felt like that? Oh, when they didn't know what to do, they asked God. When they needed help, they called their community to come and help them. And so, their community was built whilst building the walls. I love you all so much. My sister lives in New Zealand, and that's where the Maoris live. And she told me of a Maori word, and we're going to see if we can say that. I think that might be, here we go. So if we split it up, it's a bit like this. Wana unga tanga. Okay? Wana unga tanga. Let's try it again. Wana unga tanga. Okay, so what does this mean? It's all about building relationships together by sharing experiences and working together, a bit like we've had enacted this morning. And it helps you to feel safe and secure and that you belong, where everyone looks out for one another. Building community. Wana unga tanga. Wana unga tanga. Nehemiah and the people had hope despite a challenging build because God was with them and he answered their prayer and the people were ready and positioned themselves. I love this story. I don't know, maybe children, you might have been in the playground. I spend a lot of my time in the playground playing 40-40 in. Scored a goal in football a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And, just one more, we were doing netball, trying to get some goals in netball. So I turned my back towards the goal and went like that and it went in. Oh, it was so thrilling. I was so excited. Anyway, but not everything always goes well in the playground, does it? I mean, people can say some unkind things. And what do we do then? We can be like the people in Nehemiah. We can pray to God to ask him to help us to respond well. We can ask the adults around us for their help and their wisdom. I don't know, you might feel overwhelmed by something this morning. Might be one of those things that you were hoping for. Thanks, Hannah. Can I encourage you to, pray to God, but also to seek help from others in our community that can support you in some way. Whatever it is, let's keep praying for one another. Let's keep positioning ourselves so that we can help one another. through this coming week. Maybe you're just looking for a place to belong. This is a place where you can belong. And if you want to know a little bit more about the hope that is Jesus, please stay around and chat to somebody this morning. Before we have tea and coffee, and then before we have lunch, we'd like to teach you a song that is all about hope. And it's by a couple who work in Birmingham, and they work in the church there, but they also work in the schools there. And it has some actions, of course. And the main one is for us to do, it goes, I'm living in hope. I'm moving in hope. And then I think there's a bit where it talks about the seasons. And there's a bit about other stuff too, which has gone from my head right now. But just follow us and it will be great. So if you're able, can you stand?
I've got hope in my heart, even when the world is spinning round. You put hope in my heart, a hope that's never ever let me down. I'm living in hope, I'm moving in hope. What a song to sing, the future's held by Him. I'm living in hope. We've got hope in our hearts, even when the world is spinning round. You put hope in our hearts, a hope that's never ever let us down. We're living in hope, we're moving in hope. What a song to sing, future's held by Him. We're living in hope. Love will see me through every season. I'll trust in You. Your light will be my guide. Upon Jesus, I'll fix my eyes. We're living in hope. We're living in hope. We're moving in hope. We're moving in hope. We're living in hope. We're moving in hope. We're living in hope. We're moving in hope. What a song to sing, the future's held by Him. We're living in hope.
Seats. It's been really great to be together this morning. Thank you for being here. I'm just going to finish with a prayer, and do stay around and chat to people, have a coffee, have a tea, and do stay for lunch as well. Let's pray. Father, I thank You that in You we have hope. Thank You that through all the seasons of our life You are with us and You love us. Thank you that we have you and that we have one another. And we thank you that you've been here this morning with us. Amen. We'd like to give you each a brick, and it's not a real brick or even a foam brick. It is a paper brick, and it's to remind you of what we've done this morning, and also to remind you to pray. And it's a reminder for you to position yourself to help one another in the community. And if you want to write anything on the back to remind you, then do. But please do put it in your, stick it on your fridge, or do something with it. And as we are building community here at Abingdon Community Church, and part of that building is to be part of a community group. So if you, your brick might even help you to think about that too. Where would you be best to be positioned in these next few months? So yes, enjoy your brick, keep building, and keep trusting God for what comes next.
Great, just to say there's a little booklet we've produced. It's quite fun. I haven't produced it, but it's got nice colour pictures on it. And it says a little bit more about our community groups over the next season. Do take a copy of that, read it through, and have a chat with somebody about where you want to join in, where you want to fit in. And let's get in those groups and shape them. You know, be movers and shakers and shape those groups about what we're going to do and what we're going to do as community over the next few weeks. I think there's a few copies at the back there. And looks like there's plenty of food. So do hang around for some lunch. And Rachel.
In order to bless the people who do set up and particularly pack down again at the end, we're trying to just simplify the things that we have in the cupboard. We have a lot of books, and I don't think they get read, which means that they're not doing their thing because they're meant to be being read. So if you would like to take a book home, there's a box of books at the back there. I put the offering box next to it. So if you want to just put in 50p or whatever for a book, go for it. No pressure. If they don't go home with you, I'll take them up to the King Centre so that they can be part of the library there, and we can raid the library occasionally up there if we want to as well. And now go and do tea and coffee so you can drink.
Wana Ungatanga.
God of creation, there at the start, before they begin.